Maybe that's our question to people. Do you think Tamra and Eddie's marriage is a real one? Is real?
Yeah,
Or are
that's a
they
good
just
question.
having each other's back so she stays on the show?
Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join 3 Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers! Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
Kelly.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 19, Episode number 15, Going Dutch. I don't really love that name.
Mm-hmm.
We start out with Shannon. She's calling up about a delivery that was done wrong because she's got this beautiful luncheon planned for Jenn. Celebration that Jenn is getting married. It's not a bridal shower.
She's very, very clear that it is not a bridal shower. She's even clear in her text message to the women. This is not a bridal shower.
Right. Yes, I agree. I mean, it's definitely not a bridal shower.
Because it comes up later on in the episode.
Yeah.
But it's been made very clear to me that this is not a bridal shower.
Not a bridal shower. I thought it was interesting because I will say that Shannon has very good attention to detail, because why she's calling up is that she ordered, all this stuff for this luncheon that she's having, which is beautifully set up.
Mm-hmm.
And she ordered rose-colored glasses, and she has clear glasses, and she spent $2,000 on just this setup, which is a lot of freaking money. So I would want what I paid for too.
Totally
I don't blame
agree
her.
with you. I totally agree with you. Start out nice in conversations like that, but I get to the point where Shannon was if I'm not getting anywhere.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not something
her.
I'm proud of. I'm just saying it's facts. It's facts.
Yeah. So then we see Gretchen and Slater talking about how she was in church this morning and she's praying for her and Tamra to be able to move forward.
Did Slade dye his hair blonde? Did you notice that?
I didn't.
His hair was like light, a lot lighter
Was it?
than normal.
Wasn't gray?
I thought.
Because it's gray. Normally it's gray.
Like, it looked like a lighter brown. I don't know. Maybe it was just the lighting, though.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But she's going to, she's going today is for Jenn. So she's going to, try and avoid the whole Tamra situation, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Gretchen is the first to arrive. And she gets there and she's talking to Shannon, and she says that she hasn't seen anyone since the party with Emily. And the last time was when Emily was having the hoedown and Gretchen was yelling at Emily. That's what Shannon said was the last thing she saw. So she left after Tamra left and Gretchen was yelling at her. Emily went outside after Tamra and then came back in and was yelling at Gretchen. So she's like, what was that all about? And she said, well, Emily said that I was aggressive and I wasn't being aggressive. Shannon tells her, listen, you're never going to get to a good place with Tamra. That's where I'm at right now. I know I'm never going to get to a good place with Tamra. I'm never going to be to where we were before. But we need to just be able to be in the same room together and just kind of move forward. Just let it be. Just coexist.
Right.
And she tells her that she feels like she's acting a lot like Tamra and she needs to just stop going at her. Just let it be.
Right. And they are acting exactly like each other.
100% they are. I thought it was so funny because after that scene, she's sitting in her confessional, Gretchen is, and the producer asks her, do you think that you're a lot like Tamra? And she said, no, I'm not like Tamra. Do you want me to get my list? She goes, you have a list? And she grabs her phone and she starts reading from her list. And I wrote down everything she said. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. I don't stoop to her level. I don't have a child calling me a manipulator and a liar. I haven't been sued and lost because of my lies and then almost sued again for another lie. And she references Jim Bellino and Ryan. I didn't reach out to Tamara's ex and try and get dirt on her. And she's referring to Michelle, Slade's ex. I'm not profiting from other people's pain. And she's referring to the podcast. I'm not harming or constantly hurting my friends. I'm not disclosing personal information my friends ask me not to talk about. And she's referring to Shannon's dad. I don't have several exes coming forward publicly to say I'm a liar and a cheater. She's referring
Does Tamra have that?
She's referring to both of her exes have said this.
I don't remember that.
I mean, you know, her.
I don't remember that.
I
Oh,
don't.
well, Simon, yes.
Simon did.
What are
Simon
we
definitely
saying?
did.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Simon did.
I don't know who her ex was before Simon, to be honest with
Ryan's
you.
father.
Yeah, but I don't
he's
know.
been
Like,
on.
I don't know what their relationship was. You know what I'm saying? Like after.
Yeah, he was on when her granddaughter was born. There was she had like a birthday party for her granddaughter or something, and I believe he was there. I believe Ryan has a relationship with his father, so.
Yeah, I think he does. I don't call or DM bloggers to try to get them to post horrible things about my castmates. I actually feel bad when I mess up. She doesn't. She has zero remorse and repeats her pattern. I'm like, okay.
Right.
Those are all the things she listed, like that she had prepared. Okay. I think you have a little bit too much time on your hands. And I think that Tamra.
She definitely has too much time on her hands.
Tamra lives in her head rent-free.
For sure. That's what I mean. They're both doing the same thing to each other. And honestly, I wouldn't have thought that before this season started, but I definitely think it now. Like, obviously, Tamra can't stop thinking about Slade and Gretchen. I mean, she has been talking about him on her podcast since she has had a podcast. But I didn't think it was the same way with Gretchen, but it clearly is. It clearly is.
Yeah, definitely. Then Jenn arrives at the party and she thanks Shannon. You know, like she said, this is the most beautiful, this is the most beautiful thing. This is probably the nicest thing that she'll even do for her wedding. Because she's still not really sure exactly what she's going to do, right? They don't really have a date or a venue or anything planned.
She said they're basically keeping it low key. But again, Shannon reiterates, this is not a bridal shower. It's just a celebration that Jenn's getting married.
Right.
It's very important to keep this in our heads.
Yes. I mean, it's important to Shannon that we know this. I don't know who else it's important to.
I think it's important because of how it is brought up later when they are in Amsterdam by Emily and Tamra, who are just starting problems.
Yeah. Yeah,
like middle
true.
schoolers. I'm so over the middle school behavior.
No, I totally agree with you. I did feel bad for Jenn when she said in her confessional, or maybe it wasn't even in her confessional, that she feels like she has a scarlet letter on her because she's been divorced. And she really, you know, she was raised that you get married once. I think it's more than
she's been divorced. I think it's more than that she's been divorced. I think she was cheating on her husband with Ryan, and that's why she feels like she's got a scarlet letter. Listen, it's 2025.
Yes.
These things happen.
Absolutely.
This happens, and people do eventually get to a place where they can move on. Yeah. Maybe her ex isn't there now, so she still feels some guilt about it. He'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Then Shannon says, I'd like everyone to go around the table and give Jenn your most sound wedding advice. And Emily said, wedding or marriage? And Jenn said, no, I want your marriage advice. Like, truly, I would like to know, like, what you guys, think about this. And Gina's like, well, actually, we've all been divorced except for Heather, which I thought was funny. So Jenn said, okay, well, maybe we'll finish with your advice then. So Heather's going to go last.
Did you notice when Gretchen mentioned her faith, the faces Tamra was making?
I did.
I mean, it's interesting for someone who's recently renewed their faith, I guess within the past 10 years or so, to be having that kind of judgment on her face when someone is talking about their faith. Whether you believe it or not as a Christian or whatever faith you are, if you're a faithful person, and you're a faithful person, right, because you just renewed your faith within the past 10 years, you shouldn't really judge when someone else is talking about their faith, whether it's the same faith you have or not. She's just an asshole, Tamra.
Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. So Tamra goes first, actually, and she says, actually, your second wedding or marriage, you already know what not to do. She said, Simon and I used to fight and say mean things all the time. So honestly, I thought that was good advice until we see her and Eddie out to dinner later on.
Exactly.
I'm just like, so she knows how to give the advice, but doesn't actually know how to take it for herself.
Right. Which I'm guilty of that too. So I get it. But yeah, that was very funny. Yes, very funny.
Shannon says, I'll say communication is key to any relationship. You know, the littlest argument can turn into the biggest fights. Honestly, I would just have to, personally, I would say that that's the answer right there is communication is the key to all relationships, whether it is a spousal relationship, a relationship with a brother, a sister, a child, a mother, a father, communication, right?
Yep.
Like,
if someone doesn't know how you feel, then you can't expect them to know how to react to you.
right.
You have to let
Right.
people know how you feel, right?
Yeah.
What they do with that information is on them, but it's your responsibility to at least let them know how you feel.
Jenn said to Emily, I don't even know what your first husband was like. And Emily said, well, you know, he was a good guy. She's like, but Shane is my person and everyone needs to find their person. I think that's also good advice.
Very good advice.
I think Gina's advice was very good. Make sure that you don't lose yourself, that person should be a beautiful complement to your life. I 100% agree with that.
Yes.
And that's when Heather said that, you know, I agree with what everyone else said, but, you know, we're best friends and faith is a really important part of our relationship. And like you said, Tamra rolled her eyes. Heather said, I think people will judge you in your relationship and make comments about Ryan and make comments about you, but let them. Let them. Who cares? And I think that's also sound advice. But once again, I don't think Heather follows that advice either when people talk about her relationship.
I mean, how many times are we going to hire fake paparazzi? One, to take the pictures, and then two, to back you up to say you didn't hire the first one to take the pictures, Heather.
Right.
Yeah, I think Heather needs to take her own advice here, too.
Yep. And then, I don't know if you caught this, but Emily says to Heather, can I ask you a question? And every time Emily says, can I ask you a question? I know I'm going to be annoyed, to be quite honest
It's trouble.
with you.
It's trouble.
It's always trouble. It's always her stirring the pot. I mean, this one was benign. It was like, do you fart in front of Terry?
Yeah, it was just stupid. I mean, honestly, how did you think Heather was going to answer that? Because she probably does, but she's never going to tell us she does.
Right. Right.
I mean, come on.
Right. And then they have this stupid question about, they start talking about that, which was dumb. So then Shannon says, listen, I would like to, they're talking, no, before that, Emily says, like, I think, you know, we really have to cherish these friendships. Wouldn't it be nice if we could all go somewhere and, you know, and enjoy our friendships? And Shannon said, well, I would really like to go somewhere in Europe. That way I can visit Stella afterwards. And Heather's like, yeah, I get that. And she said, I asked Stella what her favorite city in Europe was. And she said, Amsterdam. And Heather's like, well, why is that? And then we see her talking to her on the phone and she's going to a rave that starts at 11 and ends at 7 a.m. I'm like, oh, okay.
That sounds exhausting.
It does sound, I mean, there's got to be some sort of nap involved there, I would hope.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But I mean, she's young. She can handle it. But I was like, whew.
Yeah.
Exhausting.
Then we find out that Heather's parents lived in Amsterdam for 15 years. All these years we've known Heather, we did not know that. Did not know that.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. And that wasn't interesting. That was interesting.
Yes. That whole
She didn't. She didn't
Right.
live there. It was when she was in college, but she would go visit, which is a very cool place to go visit if your parents live there.
So I thought that was very interesting. So then we see they cheers to Amsterdam, and then we see Heather talking to Terry and letting him know that, you know, she spoke to Josh Flagg about the house. It's going to be a few more months.
Oh my God. I can't take another scene of them talking about real estate. I can't do it. Do they talk to each other about anything else?
That was a quick part of the conversation. So Terry says,
to hear about their real estate every time they're on camera. We get it. You own a lot of properties. We get it. It's like Stephanie with her jet.
Yeah. I don't think Stephanie's going to talk about her jet so much next year.
No, I don't think so either.
Heather tells Terry that she's not been back to Amsterdam in 22 years. And Terry lets us know that's where he met her parents for the first time.
Yeah.
So again, I'm like totally blown away that we're getting all this new information.
Yeah.
Her dad worked for an international company whose headquarters were based in Amsterdam. And, you know, she was away at college and her parents wound up moving there. Heather tells Terry that her mom called her the other day and we see that phone call. She's thanking her mom for the ashes because her mom sent her some ashes of her dad's. And Terry's like, you know, what are you going to do with them? And Heather's like, well, you know, my mom wrote me a note. And he said, well, what did she say? Don't snort them? Like, she's like, no. Like, I cannot imagine her mother saying that. But
No.
basically, she wants him to be canonized. So she doesn't, in her confessional, she talks about that her mother doesn't want him painted in a bad light. Like, she's very controlling of the family's image, her mother.
Why do you think her mother would say that to her? Do you think it's because her mother knows that she said on camera her father would have explosive behavior when they were younger? Why would her mother say to her, I, don't want you saying anything bad about him? I thought that was a very odd thing for her mother to say to her.
Well, I will say that I listened to Lala had a podcast last week or so, and Heather was on the podcast. And Lala is a huge fan of Heather. And they were kind of talking about this relationship. She didn't give too many details because this episode hadn't aired yet, but she said we're going to find out more. When they were on the podcast, we only knew about what she had said about the angry outburst. And she said she's very careful about what she says. And Lala's like, well, I would like to know. She goes, oh, we could probably talk about it on the podcast. My mother does not listen to the podcast. She specifically said that her mother doesn't listen to podcasts. She's
Yeah,
like,
so she's like
so I don't know if I mean, she could have
she's
told her.
censoring herself because of her mother when she talks about her
Yes.
father.
Yes, she is, and honestly, I don't blame her. I absolutely don't blame her. I mean, it's her father. It's her father. She's said
And he's
on Lala's
deceased, so
and he's deceased,
yeah.
and it will hurt her mother. It's not gonna do anything but hurt her mother, and she did make it pretty clear that when her mother is no longer here, she will speak her truth, like, she will tell the full story. It's out of respect for her mother, because
I
her
see a
mother.
book coming in Heather Dubrow's future.
I do too. I do
I'll
too.
read
I
it.
mean,
I'll read it.
really? You don't like fancy
Yeah.
pants?
No, I really don't. I don't mind her this season though, but I mean if she's going to actually tell us something about herself,
Yeah.
I'd like to read it. If she's just going to talk about real estate that she and her husband own, I'm not going to read it. So maybe
Right.
I'll wait to see what the critics say for.
Yeah. No, I do, I did like that listening to that interview with her and Lala because I thought it was very telling of and I get it. I totally understand it. Just like Shannon with her father. You know, it's one thing to talk about him.
Yeah.
He's still alive. The man is
Yeah.
still alive and
I mean,
well.
either way, it's not for anyone else to say.
That's
Like it
just it.
wasn't it
Right.
wasn't
That's just
Tamra's
it.
place to say. If Shannon wants to say something about her father, okay, which she clearly
Mhm.
does not. But it was never Tamra's place to say anything. And same thing
Right.
for Heather.
Right. And Heather can talk about if she wants to, but she chooses not to because of her mother, out of respect for
Right.
her mother.
Right.
So she goes on to say that, I don't even know how long her father's been gone because she said all these years that she's never dumped his ashes anywhere. So her mother's had these ashes for all this time. I don't know how long it's been.
Yeah, because it wasn't clear if he passed while they were still living in Amsterdam or if they had moved. They must have moved back to New York. Well, I don't know. I mean, she
I don't,
hasn't been to Amsterdam for 22 years. So if he lived there when he passed, I would imagine it was 22 years ago, last time she was there.
I was trying to think back. I didn't look. Remember when we met her mother in New York when she took Gina to New York, Gina's
Yeah.
first season?
Yeah.
Was her father there?
I don't
I mean,
think so.
he wasn't. I can't even
No.
remember.
Right.
Yeah, so what I don't know. I mean, I suppose I could look it up. But anyway, she said
Yeah,
she
I'm
figured
sure.
she would take it to his happy places, and his happy places were New York, Puerto Vallarta, and Amsterdam.
So
So,
spread them all over.
yeah, so she's gonna bring them. Terry suggested she, put them right there in front of the house in the Herrengrot, which I was like, I don't know what that is, but it's a canal. I now know that in front of the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting too that Terry started talking about him a little bit, that he was an interesting, brilliant man. And, he was difficult to understand him because he wasn't emotional.
Right. Well,
And,
Terry got the memo because he said all nice, positive things that would make Heather's mother very happy.
yes. Terry does say to her, how they say sometimes you marry your father. He said to Heather, am I unemotional? He said, well, you've seen me cry a few times. I mean, probably when opening the American Express. He said, "Just kidding."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Yeah, you're probably not." I thought it was funny.
Oh
You
my
didn't
god,
like
it's
it?
like no, because it's constantly about how much money they spend, how much money they have, how much real estate they own, it's like, is there any substance to either one of you? Or are we just gonna talk about how much money you have, how much money you spend, how much real estate you have? I mean, it's
Okay.
exhausting. It's
Okay.
exhausting me.
Okay. We'll move on to Gina and Travis then.
Yes,
Gina and Travis go out to dinner, and Gina tells Travis everyone thought he looked so good as a cowboy.
I did.
I did too. I thought they all looked good as all except for Terry.
I know.
They were talking about how they had such a stressful year, and I didn't realize this. So Gina in her confessional said that Travis couldn't see his child anymore. Like he couldn't take not seeing his child anymore, so he started volunteering at gym time in the school so that he could actually see his son because the mom was keeping him home and wasn't letting him go visit Travis.
I think it was the kid's decision, but I think the mother was heavily influencing him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think it was her because the other kids were going, but I think this one she was able to get in his ear and have an effect on enough effect on where he didn't want to go there, which
Yeah.
is not, that sucks.
It does suck. This is what I didn't understand. She said, well, she thinks that that helped trigger Joey to tell his mom that he wanted to go home. So does that mean that the kids live with Travis full time?
I think it's 50-50 split. I think it's 50-50 split, but he
Yeah.
just wasn't ever going to Travis and Gina's. I don't think
Okay.
they have full-time custody. I don't think that woman would ever agree to that.
Yeah.
Most women wouldn't, you know?
No, no, they wouldn't. No.
Right.
So Gina said moving back in with Travis, she's learned to understand that like Travis's relationship with his ex is never going to be good. Like it's never going to be good. So she just has to accept what it is.
I mean, I see why she's saying what she's saying, but I'm hoping that that's not true. Obviously, everybody is, but the kids are going to get older. Eventually, you are no longer going to have to co-parent with this woman. Eventually, they're going to get to a place where they're on their own. And then, I know it's a ways away. I'm sure it's over 10 years away for the youngest, but
Yeah, I know. I think when you're in the middle of it like they are, it's so
yeah,
hard to see down the road.
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
Travis starts crying a little bit. You could tell his kids are
Yeah.
his heart. They're everything. And he also says, "All right, let's talk about my balls or something." I love that. I so love that.
So good. So good.
We see Jen's getting ready for Amsterdam and she's talking to Ryan.
And she even says to him, Shannon put a lot of effort into that bridal shower. I'm like, oh my God, it was not a bridal shower.
I
Stop
know.
calling it that.
Yeah. Ryan says, "Do you think the ladies will get along?" And Jen's like, "Well, I hope Tamra, goes and has fun. I hope Tamra and Gretchen can get along." She also, at this point, they talk about the wedding a little bit, but she said that she's told him that she still has a little bit of reservations. Ryan said, "You know what the boys told me that at the last volleyball game that Will sat with you guys. So I guess that's the ex." So they
Yeah.
were together, which, she's like, "Yeah, we're making baby steps." She's like, "We're making baby steps." I know, which I was so happy to hear.
Yeah.
And she's like, every stroke, every, like, text I send, I'm so mindful that I don't say anything that's gonna, like, make hurt his ego or make him mad. Because she wants it I get it. She wants it to be good for the kids.
I mean, but again, she most likely cheated on this guy with Brian,
Right.
and now she's living her happily ever after with Brian. That's very difficult. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I do think it's harder for men to get over that than it is for women. I just do. So,
Because of the ego. It's an ego thing.
exactly. It's their
It's an
pride,
ego thing. Right.
you
Whereas
know?
I think women are hurt more where, when they're cheated on, I think that it hurts them more, like, to their core, to their heart,
Yeah.
not so much their humiliated or their ego. I
No.
think like you're saying, with men, it's the ego.
Right. Right. But hopefully this guy finds somebody and then realizes, like, you know what? We really weren't that happy. And
Right.
I am
Right.
happier with this person. And,
So
everybody can
then
move on.
we go see next thing we see is Eddie and Tamara are out for dinner. And this was tough. This was a tough scene.
What, her talking about her daughter's sex life on national television?
I
Like, what are you
can't
doing?
even. I
What do you
know.
I mean, my daughter would probably stop talking to me if I did that to her. She
And
has
this is the
no
one that
shame, Tamra. No shame.
I know. This is the one that talks to her too.
Yeah, right. Holding on to that by a thread after this.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're talking about Gina, and she's telling that she met with Gina, and she's asking if there's any moving forward with Gretchen. And Eddie's like, "You don't need that woman in your life." And Tamara's like, "No, I don't want her in my life. She's toxic." And Tamara says to Eddie, like, she had a talk with Sophia about the boyfriend thing. We're fully aware. And now she's worried that Sophia has a boyfriend and that she's not going to want to go to LA to go to school. And it's funny because you guys were talking about this the other night at happy hour
Yeah.
about,
Yeah. I totally understand where Tamra's coming from with this.
yeah, like this, I get it too. Like, I mean, I don't get it because I don't have that situation. I don't have daughters, but it goes back to like what Gina said. Like you, especially for women, and if you have daughters, you want to empower them and you want them to
Mhm.
have their own life and live their own dream. And you don't want them to hold themselves back for any man ever.
Nope.
And
Nope,
no
nope.
man should want them to hold themselves
Exactly.
back.
Exactly.
So, and Tamara also, she has this conflict that, she was young when she got pregnant and, she worries about that. Of course, you're going to worry about that, right? But then she says to Eddie, like, so if Sophia does go away, like, what does that mean for us? And Eddie said, well, we had talked about moving out of state. He's like, I don't know how you feel about that now. And Tamara's like, well, when we make plans, I feel like they're for death. Which I thought was odd, like, why would she say that?
I don't think Tamra knows why she says things. I think when the cameras go on, Tamra's mind, it's like scrambled eggs up there. I think she's just saying things to say things. I really do. I don't think she knows what she's saying.
Well, Eddie's response was, "God knows how long we're gonna live. My grandma lived till she was 99, so I'm probably gonna be, alive a long time unless I get hit by a bus." And then she says, "Or I kill you because you annoy me when you eat." And then she said, "Don't chew or whistle around me." Eddie says, "If you don't like it, put some earplugs in." That's not always a good way to react. Tamara says, "I'm not an asshole. You're the asshole." I was like, "Wait, what just happened here?"
Exactly. So I don't know exactly what happened, but I am guilty of if I'm eating near somebody and they're chewing very loud or breathing very, very loud, I have a problem with it. So I understand her sensitivity to that. But why she's calling Eddie an asshole, like, he can't help it. When people chew loud or breathe loud or they can't help it. So, and listen, I know that and I still get annoyed, but I'm not calling the other person an asshole for it. She's just I don't know.
I just thought that reaction was so over the top for eating too loud.
Right.
And when you're on camera
Right. That's what I'm
and
saying. She has no shame. She'll say and do anything on camera to keep her spot. You know what I mean?
yeah, and the interesting thing about this whole scene, I don't know where it was, but somebody asked her about it. She doesn't remember it. She doesn't remember it.
Exactly.
She
It's
doesn't
like her
remember it.
brain goes to mush when those cameras come on. She doesn't even know what she's saying.
She doesn't
She's
remember
the
it.
worst housewife, but she thinks she's the best housewife.
Yeah. So then after the asshole thing, Eddie says, "Well, do you think we have a problem?" And Tamara said, "I think our problem is we don't communicate, and then it all explodes at once. I will say, we have one good fight like about every 6 months." And Eddie said, "Well, the way you talk to me, it sets me off. Usually you're drunk and that makes you come at me." And she's like, "Well, do you think I have a drinking problem?" He said, "For our relationship purposes, you should never drink. You should be
Couldn't
able to
believe he
talk to
said that on
me
camera.
about what's hurting you." I'm glad he said it. I'm so
Me
glad he said
too.
it. I'm so
Me
glad he
too.
said it. And it's so
I couldn't believe he said it though, could you?
I couldn't believe he said it. And then the other thing that it struck me is, this is something she says all the time. And she even said it when she was talking about this scene. Eddie and I don't drink at home. We're not partiers. Like, we don't even really have alcohol in our, so we only drink socially if we go out with another couple. We don't even drink when it's just the two of us. How can this
Yeah,
be
so
true?
why would he even bring this up?
Right. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know this whole, I mean, I feel like she's like, "Oh no, there's no," in the interview. She's like, "No, there's no, there's no tension. We're good." And Eddie, when he did the he's like, "Yeah, no, me and my wife are so good." He wouldn't even take $1 billion for someone to sleep with his wife for one night, that
Right,
their
his interview
relationship.
with Joe Gorga, right.
Yeah, yeah, like, he loves his wife that much, and I'm just like, I just don't buy it. I mean, yes, he may love her that much, but I don't buy it that it's really good at home. I just don't buy it based on what we see.
Did you see and I saw it real quick, I didn't look into it because, quite honestly, I don't even care. But Tamra's other daughter, I don't think it was Sophia, but
Sydney?
there's a headline that Tamra's daughter says that, like, Tamra and Eddie's relationship is, like, phony, fake. I don't know if there's any merit to it. Like I said, I just saw a headline, and I don't care enough about Tamra to even bother checking that. But I did see something like that. Maybe that's our question to people. Do you think Tamra and Eddie's marriage is a real one, is real? Or
Yeah,
are
that's a
they
good
just
question.
having each other's back so she stays on the show, they put up this front, but they really just do what they want? Because I think that there's merit to what Jenn was saying about Tamra, like, being attracted to Ryan and saying, "Should I take one for the team?" I think there's merit to that.
I do too. I do too. Okay. So enough of that craziness. The next thing we see is the ladies arrive at the airport, getting ready to go to Amsterdam. And
Comfortably dressed
yes,
to fly.
yes. Shannon is walking in and she needs a band-aid because her toe is bleeding.
What the hell was that going on with her foot? Holy guacamole.
Don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, in her
Those
confessional, Heather
pods
says,
were very cool on the plane,
"Oh
those
my
pods that
god,
they were sitting in, right?
those were amazing." So I was watching that and I called Bill over. I was like, Do you see these? You see these things right here? If I ever go on a flight that's 13 hours or more, I want one of these." He's like, "Do you know how much those cost?" I was like, "No, I
Yeah,
don't, but this is
how
what
much do you think they cost?
I don't know. We're going to have to look it up, but I
Yeah.
definitely want that."
How long was the flight?
13 hours
Okay. I
because they
mean,
arrived.
listen, that's the way to
Yeah.
go.
Yes. I totally agree. I was so into those pods.
Awesome. They were awesome.
And, we saw the JetBlue logo like all over the place. So they probably didn't even pay for it. Like
Right.
that was their advertisement. Me
It's pretty
talking about those
surprising that it
pods.
was JetBlue.
I thought so too. I thought it would be, well, now we're talking about JetBlue.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
stop it
not
because
even. Right.
they're not paying us.
They're
I
not
mean,
paying us, that's for damn sure.
if they're going to give us a ride in the pod, I will talk all about it.
That's right.
Talk all about it.
JetBlue.
Yeah. So then they arrive in Amsterdam and they're on the bus on the way to their hotel. And Heather said, "Oh my God, there's the shopping. I always know where the good shopping is. And of course, the champagne and the caviar."
But
And
she's like, "I know I'll be getting champagne and caviar." What is she
yes.
insinuating? That she's gonna spend the most money, so she's gonna get the champagne and the caviar.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, this is probably why those Beverly Hills housewives want nothing to do with her. Not a damn one of them act this way. And I
No,
would
none of them.
imagine that most of them have more money than Heather and Terry Dubrow. I know they're very well off, but I would
Yes.
imagine that most of the Beverly Hills housewives are more so well off. You would never see Kyle acting this way. Ever. They don't want that new money around them.
No. No, you wouldn't. I
It
agree with you.
screams desperation for attention.
So Shannon announced that, she grew up around boats. And so this is a city of canals. So she has arranged for them all to go through a tour of the canals through Amsterdam. I was like, "Oh, that sounds cool."
Very cool.
Right?
Very, very cool. Yes, yes.
I want to do that now too. So Gina and Emily are sharing a room and everyone else has their own room.
That was interesting.
They always share a room.
I mean, yes, but everybody else had their own room, but they still chose to share one. But okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
a
like
hotel.
crack.
I'm sure that they had the ability to have their own room, but they'd rather be together.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
codependent, which is fine.
Totally fine.
I'll tell you this, I love my friends, love you, but if I have the option to have my own room,
I want my
I
own
want
room.
Yeah, I'll meet you in the lobby. We can hang in the lobby.
Absolutely. You can even come in my room and hang out, but when I'm ready for bed, get up.
I want my own space.
Yeah, no, I am 100% with you. 100%.
So the ladies all get dressed. I didn't realize that they were immediately going on this
I
boat.
know.
Because when they came down with those clothes that they were wearing, I was like, what is going on?
Listen, again, I don't want to get heat for this, but
No,
what
listen,
was Jenn wearing? I mean,
what
her
was Jen
whole
wearing? What
ass was out.
her whole ass was out. And what about what first of
Damn.
all, Tamar's skirt was so short, it was
Those were
ridiculous.
shorts Tamra had on.
Okay, those shorts were so short, and Emily's dress with all those cutouts,
Can't. Like, what are you doing?
I have never seen these ladies dressed like this before, ever.
Ever. Ever. Yeah. You know what? You're right. It must have been because they were in Amsterdam and red light district. That was it. That
I
was it.
mean, that because they were getting dressed once. So they were doing the boat tour, and then they were going to dinner, and then they were going to
Right.
the red light district. But I'm sorry. When they get on the boat like that, I was like, "Oh, this was your boat attire?" Like, and when Emily went to get on the boat, you could see this huge bruise on her thigh through her cutout. I
I
was like,
didn't even know.
"Oh my gosh, yes." I mean, and I'm someone who bruises easily, so
Yeah,
I
me too. Me too. Yeah.
like, I was like, "Oh my god, like,
That's
these
so
women."
funny.
Heather asked the boat driver if he can go to, down the Herringarat because her parents used to live there and, that's the canal near their house.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah." And Gina's like, "Oh, do you have the ashes?" She's like, "Oh, no, they're back in the hotel." I was like, "Oh, well, that was poor planning." Okay.
I know. It would have been perfect, right? Because now they got to go
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. So they go through the Seven Bridges Canal, which was very cool to see.
Wait, real quick. How about when Emily said that she took her kids to Build-A-Bear and she put her voice in a bear for Luke so that when she's gone, I thought that was a nice idea for anyone
It
who
was,
has a child who maybe has some separation anxiety.
yeah, it was a nice idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they get to Heather's house, and she points it out, the one with her parents, where they had lived, the one with the black door, which looked gorgeous, looked like
Mhm.
a wonderful place to live.
Yeah. Especially right across from that canal,
Yes.
sit outside in the morning and have your coffee and just look at that. I would love that.
I thought those boats on the canal were interesting too. Like some of them were like super long with like the roof on them. And I liked their boat. I liked their
Yeah, me
open
too. Yeah.
boat. I thought I liked their boat tour. Tamara said that she Googled things to do in Amsterdam, and there's this place where you can go bedazzle penises. Gretchen announces that she's not going to partake, which honestly, I would not partake either.
Right. Did she give a reason why? I forget.
She didn't. Nope, she didn't.
I'm
She
just
didn't.
wondering if she's using her faith as, like, I can't
Yeah.
do that. I'm a Christian. Because
So
I
then
feel Gretchen picks and chooses
she does.
when she pulls that card out. Yeah.
She definitely does. But then Emily says that question that I love, says to Shannon, "Let me ask you a question. Because you always say about your boundaries, do you think Tamra was being shady when she asked you about your dad?" Okay, so now you're bringing it up again too.
Why bring it up now? Why bring it up now? Because it's not like this is Shannon's only issue with Tamra. This is just an added issue that Shannon has with Tamra.
It's right. You're absolutely right. And I think why she brought it up now is because Gina's sitting there right next to her, and Gina says, "Oh, so you're going to bring this up? You're you're going to go in right in there now?" And Emily said, "Well, I had some champagne." And then they flash to the scene that happened just before they got on the boat with Heather in the room with Gina and Emily, where Gina told them what happened. Because Heather and Emily were in LA when this whole conversation happened at Temecula.
They already knew about it. This has already been discussed in the group. This isn't the first time it's being discussed in the group.
Listen, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And the fact that Emily's the one that has to bring it up, I don't care that you had a glass of champagne, Emily.
Exactly. Exactly. It's just silly. It was definitely brought up in front of the group because I remember saying, because Gina was like, I don't think Tamra was bringing it up to be malicious or something. And I thought, yes, she was. But I remember it came up when they went to the self-defense thing.
Okay, that was after? Yeah. So Emily then turns to Tamara and says, "Were you being shady?" And Tamara says, "No." But when they were back in the room, Heather had said do you think Shannon was blowing this out of proportion? Heather's the one that asked the question. And Emily said, yes, she's blowing it out of proportion. I
How? She's
personally,
not
right,
talking about it. She's
right,
not blowing anything out of proportion. She had a reaction. She's committed to that reaction, and that's it. She's not bringing it up.
right. I, first of all, don't think she was blowing it out of proportion. I think the fact that you guys keep bringing it up, and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So Shannon's response was, I did feel like it was a dig. Emily jumps in and says, well, I felt like her statement was her trying to be compassionate. Okay. Then she says again, Emily said, let me ask you a question. When she said she's sorry about bringing up your dad, are you able to forgive her? No, Shannon says, I don't blame her. I wouldn't forgive her either.
Nope. And again,
Why
this
do you,
is not the only thing she's not forgiving her for.
right. Right. There's other things.
Yeah.
So Shannon says, well, you can say things and go, oh, yeah. And she's doing this with her hands and puts her arm across her head. And Tamara's like, I don't do this. But you did. And I can apologize, but you can't move forward. She didn't say she couldn't move forward. Just because she's not accepting your apology doesn't mean she's not moving forward.
She's moving forward in a relationship with you that she's comfortable with. That is
Right.
not a close friendship.
Right.
You have to accept it. You are
Right.
not accepting it, and you have your employee, Emily, doing your dirty work and now trying to make Shannon look like the bad guy. Because not only here does she make her look like the bad guy, but when it's Jenn, Emily, and Tamra later in the episode, they try to make Shannon look like the bad guy.
They do. And it's very, very frustrating. It's very frustrating.
All because she doesn't want to be Tamra's friend. It's that mentality. You're either with us or you're against us.
Yep.
Housewives sucks, people.
Yeah.
All of them. They're all starting to suck, really, except Salt Lake City.
Yeah, not yet. I mean, we're only 4 episodes in, so there's still time.
4 episodes in. Right, exactly.
So Shannon says, whatever, you called me the C word 18 times at the dinner table. And Tamra said, you are. And she said the word. She didn't say C word. She said the word. And she said it again. She kept saying the word. And Jenn said, okay, stop.
Has she been
don't
drinking,
go back.
Tamra? I'm just curious. You think she had been drinking at this point?
She must have been.
They
were all drinking champagne. They were all drinking champagne.
Yeah.
Jenn jumps in and says, don't pull your shit on me. And Tamra yells at her, I'm not talking to you. Like, stay out of this. Shannon said,
she always dismisses Jenn, like I don't even care,
Emily says, sometimes it's hard to decipher. It's not hard to decipher anything. And then Heather says to Tamra, can you highlight when you want to be an asshole? And Tamra said, it's like Tamra got pissed. And Heather said, I'm joking. Tamra said, yeah, all right, I'll highlight it with a yellow marker. Because she was being an asshole. She's
always an asshole. There's levels with Tamra. This is a higher level of assholeness, but she's always being an asshole. She's the worst housewife. They should never have let her back because all you did was inflate her ego as if the show couldn't go on without her. Do your fucking job, producers. Find better housewives. Don't keep bringing this shit up from the past. I'm so over it. She's the absolute worst. Get her off the show. And get a new cast. Find new, good housewives. They're so lazy, these producers. Had it with this show.
I hear that. Then Heather says, okay, let's put a pin in this. Gina, we're going to get a blunt. I was like, okay. I mean, I was glad to not be talking about it again.
For sure.
But, all right. Gina says, yes, like, I love bad
Don't
Heather.
Don't you feel like a lot happened in this first day?
Oh my God. Yes.
They go on this canal tour. Now they're separating, right?
Yep.
And Jenn, Emily, and Tamra go to Dick Decorate. And then
I like that.
The other 4 go to get high. And then they meet up for dinner. I feel like it was a lot for one day.
It was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that was only half of the show because the other half, they were still in the OC. So that was only 30 minutes of the show that we got. Because I was looking at the time, I was like, there is a lot going on in this episode.
Yeah.
So since you did that, let's go skip to the dinner.
Well, wait, let's not
Unless
skip
there's
to the
something.
dinner yet
Okay.
because this is where
Yeah, where they start ganging up on
Tamra
her.
and Emily bring up to Jenn. So Jenn tells Emily and Tamra that she received a save the date for Alexis's wedding, but Shannon asked her not to go. Now, when
Right.
they flash back, we don't see Shannon ask her not to go. We see her say to Shannon, I don't want to basically have a problem with you, so I'm not going to go. And Shannon says, thank you. We
Right.
don't, however, know if Shannon possibly asked Jenn prior to that to not go. She could have. We don't know.
Mhm.
And obviously, Emily and Tamra have feelings about that, and they don't think it's fair that she would have to cut off a friendship with Alexis. Now, Emily starts saying, basically, Emily and Tamra start asking Jenn if they think Shannon was having the luncheon for her to make herself look good, or if it was truly to do something nice for Jenn. Now, we have seen Shannon throw in people's faces like, I've done this, I've done that. We've seen it. But I really don't think that this is the case. I really think that, first of all, they needed to set up the conversation to go away, right? This is where that all went down, where they said they need to go away and that they're going to go to Amsterdam. So we needed a scene to do that anyway. And I think that this was just a nice thing that Shannon did for Jenn. I don't think that there was any selfish intent behind it.
I agree with you. Actually, the fact that, Emily again started the question, let me ask you a question. Your bridal thing, I felt like you weren't really into it. And
Yeah. Why
Jen's
would
like,
you say that to somebody?
right, like that's so, first of all, she's an attorney. That is so leading, it's not even funny. And that's what she does with all of her questions. They are all leading questions. Every question she asks. And she starts it off with, let me ask you a question. So anytime Emily says, let me ask you a question, know that she's walking you into something.
Yeah.
Just
Don't
know that.
answer.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, this was driving me crazy because, again, we're jumping back and forth between the
Yes.
two. We're
Yep,
going
we
back and
did.
forth, back and forth. It was driving me crazy.
Yeah, because then they start talking to Gretchen. Gretchen asked Gina and Heather, like, if you see, is there a possibility of me moving forward with Tamra? And they both say yes.
Why
And
would you
Heather
even
says,
want to if you were Gretchen? Why would you even want
I think because she wants to be on the show.
to be on the show?
Yeah. And they both say yes. And Heather says, I think the problem was at the Western party was you going over there with Slade. Gretchen said, do you understand why we went with Slade? And Heather says, no, I don't agree. Gretchen said, we didn't come in aggressive. Heather said, other people don't agree with you. So when Heather says it, it just shuts it down.
Yeah.
But then Gina says this, which I thought was really good. She says, Gretchen, you reduced yourself to a place where you shouldn't have to go. And Gretchen says, well, unfortunately with Tamara, I found that fighting fire with fire is the only way to go. And Gina and Heather are both telling her no. And Heather in her confessional says, Heather said it's like fighting fire with lighter fluid. And that's what happens with those two.
Yes. Yes.
That's what happens.
Yes. Yeah. They're saying like you guys are biting at each other, and they're
Right.
totally right.
Right.
But nobody says that to Tamra. Nobody says to Tamra, you're acting the same way as Gretchen. You and Gretchen are doing the same thing to each other.
Feel like Emily has said that to Tamra. Emily did say it to Tamra.
Well, maybe she's just not receiving it then. Because Gretchen seemed to, well, I guess Gretchen didn't really receive it either.
No, Gretchen
She's like,
didn't receive it. No.
Let me count the ways I'm not like Tamra.
Right. No, she didn't receive it either. But I did love how high Shannon was from her, what do they call
Me
it?
too.
What kind of muffin? What do they call it?
Space cake.
Was space cake. They called it a space cake. Oh,
I love it too. I mean, if there's going to be somebody, I don't personally enjoy being under the influence of weed. I don't react well to it. But if I was going to do it, I think Shannon would be a
my
good
gosh,
person to do
so
it
much
with.
fun.
So much fun.
I want to go out with Shannon next time she has a space cake because
Yeah.
I never laughed so hard. I mean, she fell out of the van. Gretchen had to help her get up the stairs. I mean,
So good.
then they cut to the scene. This was so funny where Shannon is telling Stella on the phone, what happens if you do drugs? You die.
Oh my God, that was so good. That was so good.
Oh my God. It was and then the end part was just so funny too. When what did she drop? Oh, her barrette.
Dropped her
Shannon dropped her
barrette.
barrette. Shannon dropped her barrette, and she's trying to get the barrette, and she's sliding underneath the table. Then Tamra goes underneath the table, and literally her ass is hanging out.
Ass out. Yep.
Totally out.
Ass out.
And she grabs up at Shannon's boob, and Shannon's yelling, "She's trying to get a bite of my muffin." I honestly, like, I never laughed so hard. Like, this
And then
is what I
Heather
like.
was high too, and she's doing all the ordering, and she's probably starving.
Oh my God,
So
she ordered
they're like,
so
"That sounds
much.
like a lot of food."
But I'll tell you, Heather's high is not nearly as fun as Shannon's high. Oh my
No,
God,
but I
Shannon's
do
high.
like the way they bounce off of each other, like when they were putting the glasses up on their eye. Like I liked it. I liked it. I could see where Heather would be a lot of fun under the influence of weed. That would probably be what it would take for me to hang out with her.
Oh, I wouldn't need that to hang out with her. I would hang out with her
Yeah,
even without
I
weed.
know.
Heather in her confessional says, "If all it takes is a little space cakes to get Shannon and Heather back together, please buy him a dozen."
Yeah, exactly.
And Shannon in her confessional said, "A squeeze on the breast is much better than being yelled at, for sure."
Yeah, or call the drunk or an alcoholic or, whatever else Tamara felt like hurling at her.
And that's the whole thing with these two. Like, we have seen Tamara and Shannon have so much fun together and laugh. And, like, that's what I would like to see. Why can't we just do that? Why do we have to fight like this? Why do you have to go so low? Why do you have to bring up shit that we don't need to talk about?
Well,
You can
according
still
to
be
Tamara, if
real.
she doesn't act like that, nobody's going to want, Andy's going to fire her from the show.
Yeah.
That's according to Shannon. I mean,
Yeah.
according to Tamara.
Tamra, that's what she said on Watch What Happens Live. So, I mean, then we see the next episode, they're going into the red light district. And I wrote down they're actually getting along, like everything was going well. And then we see a clip 12 hours later, they're all fighting again.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is just, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
exhausting.
Totally agree.
We'll have to wait and see what happens, but it's honestly, I don't know. I heard that the reunion is pretty good too. Everyone has said that the reunion's going to be good.
Yeah. Well, let's hope Andy holds him responsible, holds him accountable. Let's see if there's no reason Tamara should be in first seat, but there was no reason Alexia should be in first seat either. But, I guess they're just giving the oldest housewives the first seat, I
Maybe.
guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what happens next week at the red light district. Honestly, I think that should be fun. I'm kind of excited to see that.
Hope so. Yeah.
So until next time, thank you for watching and listening. Please subscribe and give us 5-star reviews. Bye.
Bye.